Happening right now in the South Bay, will the prom go on? A nonprofit that supports LGBTQ youth is asking the Coronado City Council to let them use one of its community rooms for a dance. The group says the city actually approved its permit last month and then rescinded it just 48 hours later. CBS 8's Heather Hope is live outside council chambers right now with a look at what's happening at this moment. Heather?
Yes, the Coronado City Council meeting has been going on for over 2 hours now, and the City Council says it will deliberate on this issue, which happens to be the last agenda item when we'll hear that decision of what they'll decide on the permit.
This beautiful place where they can look out into the bay.
Planning where to set up the Rainbow Soiree decorations for next month. Executive Director of Rainbow Spaces for LGBTQ Youth of the South County, Nadia Keene Ayub, says her nonprofit applied in March to Coronado City Parks and Recreation Department to hold their alternative prom at the city's Nautilus Room for May 13th.
But the soiree is more of an inclusive location where they can come as they are. They don't have to worry about how they dress, the monetary value, because everything's free.
Nadia says the permit application was initially approved by the city to hold the soiree in May.
We were approved, we were excited, we were going to come down and put down the deposit, and then they said they had questions.
Questions about whether all 45 youth in attendance were Coronado residents, and because the majority were not, the permit approval was rescinded.
We are a nonprofit, so we deserve the right to utilize that space.
Nadia, who used to work for the city of Coronado as a dispatcher 6 years ago, held her wedding reception at the same community room she wants to rent for $430 an hour to hold the soiree, was confused how other non-Coronado groups were allowed to use the space previously. She took her concerns to the Coronado City Council.
So the question before the City Council today is more broadly than any one organization.
Coronado Mayor Richard Bailey says the council will need to better clarify the bylaws at its meeting happening right now.
My interpretation of the policy as it's written does allow for non-Coronado-based organizations to have youth activities such as a dance in city facilities. And in just a few minutes here, the City Council will be deliberating on whether or not that is the intention of our policy, and I'm confident that they'll probably agree to that interpretation as well.
Nadia says the Coronado Room is near a bus stop, which would be ideal for many students attending the soiree without cars.
Until they take our deposit, I am going to stay on this to ensure that we have access to this.
So we are still awaiting for that decision. This, again, the last agenda item as they're taking on another hotly contested item about what to do about redevelopment of a park. So we'll hope to get some answers coming up that we'll share later editions of CBS News 8.
Heather, what does this nonprofit group, Rainbow Spaces, say about the Nautilus Room and other groups similar to theirs, they claim, that have been granted approvals for permits?
Now, Rainbow Spaces says within the city of Coronado's own bylaws that they have also granted approval to rent out spaces to, say, the Kiwanis Group and Chula Vista, as well as to the Imperial Beach Boys and Girls Club. So those events have been able to go on planned at the city council, and so they want to know when and if and how long it would take for them to get that approval to hold their prom, which is to come up on May 13th.
Just curious because they were originally granted approval and then that rescinded, so we'll wait to see what answers come out of tonight's meeting. Thanks so much, Heather.